What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I'm gonna check out top 10 budget supercars that no one is talking about. I like videos like this where it sheds some light on vehicles that you would not even think would be potentially considered supercars or whatnot. But when you see how much they cost in comparison to other supercars and the type of horsepower and torque that they're making, you'll be surprised. And it doesn't actually break the bank. So definitely want to check this out. Appreciate all the love support y'all showing on the channel. Let's get right into it, man.
What's up, guys? This is Joel with Car Thoughts, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 budget supercars that no one is talking about. These cars have not only insane speed, but you can get them all for under $100,000.
Okay.
We'll be gapping cars that cost 2 to 3 times as much, and no, we're not talking about a C8 Corvette, GTR, or a BMW i8. Everyone and their mom loves to talk about these. And be sure to stick to the end because the last two will blow your mind. Coming in at number 1, the car we are talking about is a literal 4-door supercar, the Mercedes-AMG GT63S. And I know what you guys are thinking, how is this boat of a car even going to be fast?
Oh, y'all have no idea. Now I have a 53. I have a GT53, and that's a inline 6 turbocharged inline 6 with a mild hybrid battery system. It definitely can go just stock. But them 63s, twin turbo V8s, they can go. I think they come stock like 601 horsepower, just ridiculous amount of speed, bro.
Can it even be put in a supercar category? This thing weighs 4,700 pounds, but it has a 0 to 60 of 2.6 seconds. It comes with 630 horsepower.
My bad.
Find them for around
I was lowballing. My bad. 630 horsepower.
80 to 90K. This is one of the fastest Mercedes ever produced at the moment. It has a turbocharged V8 under the hood, which is common for AMG cars. But Mercedes just knows how to work their magic. It's an absolute monster from the factory and can seat up to 5 people. So just tell your wife you're getting a fancy family car, and she will be happy to know that you're able to drop off the kids an hour early and even drop her off to work at light speed. At number,
and what the crazy thing is, the 53 model that I have, I believe it comes stock with I want to say, let me check. I'm actually going to check right now. So the GT53, the one I have, comes stock 429 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque. But because of the mild hybrid battery system, when I brake boost it, the horsepower jumps up to, I want to say it's like 450. I believe it jumps up to like 450, and the torque jumps up to like 520 something pound-feet of torque. It's ridiculous when you brake boost it. And once again, that's not bad considering how much it costs to get a 53 model. I paid for this one. It was roughly they were asking for like $52,000, which is not bad. And once again, this is not even their fastest model. So, hey, glad that was on the list, man. Put some respect on Mercedes, man.
Number 2, we got the 2022 Jaguar F-Type R. You can find these for around 65 to 80K. Jaguar did it right with this car. It comes with a supercharged 5.0 liter V8 and 576 horsepower.
Not bad.
0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds.
That's not bad.
Which isn't bad at all. This car just screams supercar on the road, whether you want to consider it one or not. I really think they made the right decision with the front end of this car, and it sounds amazing too. The interior is also phenomenal, and it even looks a lot better than supercars twice the price. Another cool fact is that the older Jaguar SVR actually got rated as having the best sounding stock exhaust a couple of years ago. At number
not
3,
bad.
we got the McLaren MP4-12C. I know what you guys are thinking. What McLaren can you get under 100K?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. You can get these things for a steal. You can find them for 80K to 100K with about 20 to 40,000 miles. But here's the thing. It is a McLaren. These cars aren't known for their reliability. You can have some electrical issues. But I'd recommend getting one that has been driven and doesn't.
I know someone, actually, my tuner that tuned up my other Mercedes, he has a McLaren, and he told me I think he has a McLaren 720S, and he told me he spent about like $80,000 just on repairs, bro. But he loves the car because it's, it's so fun to, drive around. Of course, he has it tuned up and stuff like that, and it is a McLaren 720S, so it's just like, it's a beautiful car, but he said he spent like 80 grand just on the maintenance. Like, he does not like the maintenance, and the quality on the interior is to be desired. But outside of that, he still loves the car. So, and he making some good money. So it ain't too bad for him.
Just sit there in the garage because that seems to be the car's worst enemy. They like to brake when they aren't being driven regularly. It also has a 0 to 60 of 2.9 seconds and 600 horsepower. And let's not forget about the butterfly doors. This car is quite the bargain for an entry-level supercar that can even be a modern-day supercar with its twin turbocharged V8. At number 4, we got a car you probably didn't even expect, a Lexus. But not just any Lexus, the Lexus LC 500. This car is so overlooked due to the fact that it's just a Lexus. And there's not that many Lexus enthusiasts out there. This car literally looks like a spaceship and can even be seen as a supercar any day. The front end and back end of the car look futuristic. The interior of the car looks like it's straight out of a UFO. And I can confidently say it has the best interiors out of any car on this list. Lexus puts tons of effort and thought into the design quality of their cars, so this one will most likely outlast them all. The only downside about this car is that it doesn't really have supercar performance. Although it has 471 horsepower, it's a heavy car at 4,500 pounds, so the 0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds, which isn't too shabby. But for a car that costs 60 to 80k, I'd expect a little bit more. But to be honest, who really buys this car for performance? It's more of like a luxury coupe that has just enough power to enjoy the car, all while floating in a spaceship. Next at number 5, we got some American power. The 2008 Dodge Viper SR10. This thing comes with a huge 8.4 liter V10 with 600 horsepower. It has a 0 to 60 of 3.7 seconds. You can find these for 75 to 90k in really good condition. These also come in manual, so this one has to be one of the most fun cars on this list. But sadly, they don't make these cars anymore. These cars are really rare, and you can hardly ever see them on the road. And it's actually very rare they're not clapped out. Although this car is over 15 years old, you can easily keep up with newer performance vehicles like the BMW M cars or Mercedes-AMGs. At number 6, we got a combo. Have you ever wanted to be the guy who said he has a Ferrari but doesn't have Ferrari money? Then you can get yourself either a Ferrari 348 or a Ferrari 360. Both these cars range from 50 to 90k in good condition. I do believe that these cars are going to turn into collection cars because their values seem to be rising. They aren't fast whatsoever. The 360 on a good day has a 0 to 60 of 4.6 seconds, while the 348 has one of 5.8 seconds. And honestly, who doesn't like a classic Ferrari? Not to mention the 348 came with a 5-speed manual transmission.
I think it's because it's a classic Ferrari. You pull up to a coffee and cars event, just a regular, car meet. People are going to turn heads. People are going to take pictures because it's a classic Ferrari. You can't beat a classic Ferrari. Sometimes it's not all about speed. Being dead ass. I know we get caught up in the speed, but it's not always about speed.
Transmission. Just make sure that you have some money saved up for any repairs or maintenance. These are supercars after all, so you're going to require some supercar money. Next at number 7, probably one of the best bargains out there, a first generation Audi R8 or the 2008 to 2012 models. These cars have gone down as a classic supercar and is not only fast but affordable. They're also starting to appreciate in value, and you can find them for $52,000 to $80,000.
Yes, you can. I've seen
either
a few.
get the one with the V8 or the V10. The V8 has 430 horsepower, while the V10 has 560 horsepower. If you get the V10 model, you're going to get a 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds, while the V8 is closer to 5 seconds. But I got a question for y'all. Would you take the first gen Audi R8 or would you take a C8 Corvette? Honestly, I would have to go with the C8 due to the upgraded technology and the body design, and it's a whole lot faster since it has a 0 to 60 of 2.9 seconds.
Yes, it is a lot faster, but I'm sorry, bro. That Audi, I'm gonna choose the Audi. I'm gonna choose it. It's just a beautiful looking car, iconic car. I'm gonna choose the Audi.
With a little less than 500 horsepower, which is pretty insane. You guys might hate me for that, but I'm just putting that out there. At number 8, did you know that you can get an Aston Martin for under 100k? And no, I'm not talking about the Vantage. I'm talking about the Aston Martin DB11 with a V12. These cars produce 630 horsepower and have a 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds.
Not bad.
I've seen the 2017 models go for 80 to 100k. It looks like a spaceship on the road and has a classic interior that Aston Martin loves to keep throughout all their vehicles. So if you're trying to look like James Bond, have the glorious symphony of the V12. Here you go. Coming in at number 9, we got another combo, the 2020 Lotus Evora and the 2024 Lotus Emira. The Lotus Evora has 412 horsepower with a 0 to 60 of 3.8 seconds.
Not
You
bad.
can find these cars for around 70 to 80k. And although they aren't the fastest thing out there, that's still plenty of power to enjoy on the back roads. The new Lotus Emira is also a great option, and you'll be spending a little over $100,000 to get one, but what's crazy is that it's actually slower than the Evora by 0.4 seconds, and it has has 400 horsepower. In terms of performance, it's a little disappointing, but they definitely outdid themselves with the looks of the car. It almost looks like a Porsche and a Ferrari had a baby. And lastly, at number 10, we got the 2018 Mercedes-AMG GTS. The fact that you can even find this car for 60 to 80k is actually mind-boggling to me, considering how this car looks and how close it looks to the AMG GTR, which costs twice as much. It has a twin-turbo V8 that puts out 577 horsepower. It also has a 0 to 60 of 3.9 seconds, and the interior of these cars is pretty standard for what you find in other AMG cars. All you got to do is throw on a bigger wing on this car and it'll look even more insane. The only downside I would say is the power, which I mean it's over 4,300 pounds, and looks wise it screams supercar. But if you wanted to get another AMG coupe that is a whole second faster, I mean just get the AMG one. It's only $2.7 million and it's probably the best budget supercar out there. And those are the top 10 budget supercars that no one is talking about.
So Mercedes made the list twice, and both vehicles I have been looking into just prices. Even though I don't plan on getting any anytime soon, just the pricing of them is not that bad. Maybe one day I will, you know, after everything, you know, I want to give me a house and stuff like that, and eventually I'll probably end up getting me maybe like a GT63 S coupe instead, the 2-door coupe. But yeah, you can get you some good, I guess, supercar-ish numbers, or relatively to that amount, without breaking the bank. And now that cars are able to, you're able to tune them up to really max them out, you'll be surprised. That's why I went with the 53. Even though the 63s are beautiful, the GC63s are beautiful, it's just the amount of money they're asking for them, at least down here, you're not going to find nothing less, unless it has a lot of miles, high mileage, you're not going to find nothing less than 80K. And, the pricing that I got with my 53 and the inline sixes on the Mercedes are really good to, they're really good at being able to tune them up without you having to rebuild your transmission. You can add a lot of power to those motors and not have to rebuild your transmission. So that's another reason why I end up getting the 53 model, and it's my dream car. The color on it is beautiful as well. One day I will give me, a 63 model, a GT63, at one point, but when the time is right, all I'm gonna do is just max out the cars that I do have, give them the max amount of power without breaking the bank on the other end, and go from there. So comment down below, let me know, what is your favorite budget supercar out there on the road right now? Y'all let me know. But I appreciate all the love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all. I keep saying 150K. One day, baby, we'll get there. But road to 10K. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.